Got to wait till the AI lab have had their turn analyzing her. Then she's all mine. Got to wait.
Nah, I've already got... Ow! Hey, what was that? No answer. Sorry, Regis.
A physical photograph. The team. February 2067. Regis is probably the only person I know who'd want his picture on paper. I guess defacing a digital one just isn't the same. A physical photo. Regis is...
Nope, sorry. Nah, I've already got it set up just right. The desk turn all strictly professional.
Got to wait.
Wetware's not going to Wetware's... There's nothing in... Better not pull the tape off. Wow, that's a lot of green. Excuse me.
Great, they finally sent someone. You here to get the body out?
Maybe. I'm Max Lau, cell case specialist.
No kidding. I'm the lab director, Dr. Zvidzai Chigwa. Make it quick, I'm busy.
What's your role here?
I'm the supervisor for the telepresence factoring labs. Most of it's automatic. I just make sure it's all running like it should.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
It's a lousy job most of the time. TP is where management sticks people they don't want in public-facing roles.
You're not happy with it?
For the last few years, my career has been one disaster after another. I'm just glad it's plateaued into some kind of stability.
Can you tell me what happened?
Baxter got killed.
In any more detail?
When we started this afternoon, a whole lot of samples had been tampered with. We tried to call Baxter to find out what the hell was going on in the specimen bank.
And he didn't answer.
He didn't. Turned out the door to the specimen bank was locked too.
You haven't seen the body?
Nope, not in person, if that's what you mean. We got the camera feed online, but it was obvious that Baxter wasn't going to be coming out.
When did you last see him?
Guess it could have been Wednesday?
So he could have been killed any time in the past 3 days?
I guess, but it wouldn't fit with everything else.
What's the purpose of this lab? Plant studies?
Yes and no. It's a TP lab, telepresence. There's a lot of research that's not exactly legal in some countries.
But in Newton, pretty much anything goes.
Exactly. If someone in the EU needs research done on something hazardous, infectious, or endangered, they send the orders here and we carry out the testing.
What sort of research?
Mostly we make new angiosperms from scratch. That's flowering plants to you.
Gee, thanks. Why would people want new flowers?
Sometimes it's a drug delivery method. The earliest commercial examples were fruit that grew packed with insulin. A lot of new wetware begins its life as engineered fruit too.
Must be awkward if they cross-pollinate in the wild.
And a legal headache. Part of our job is making sure the copy protection works.
Copy protection in plants? Ouch. Aside from yourself, who else works in this laboratory?
There's my intern, Martin Meester, operates the factoring line. If you meet him, it's easy to see why they put him in here. And until recently, there was Dr. Baxter.
Tell me about Mr. Neester.
He came over from Eurofed on a study program. He's young. I guess we were all like that in our youth.
Good colleague?
He's all right. He got on board with that annoying Maladist trend. He knows how to follow instructions, so I let him get on with it.
His visa still active?
Dr. Lau, we do not employ undocumented illegals in this lab.
Just have to check. I'm sure you understand. Tell me about Dr. Baxter.
Oh, he was bad enough to work with in the 60s. As part of his parole, they stuck a governor in his head. Since then, it's like talking to a badly written synthetic.
You don't care for him a great deal.
That man killed Vicky. Frankly, he deserved what he got.
But you still work with him.
He worked for me. It was another part of his parole. Vickerman's management persuaded centralized government that his skills were going to waste in prison. The company wanted him supervised by someone who knew him. Hence, they dragged my sorry ass in.
What did you have him doing?
He organized the specimen bank. It's the kind of thing we could just leave him at for hours on end. Days, sometimes. Really, it could have just been done by the facility's AI, but I had to give him something.
Otherwise, you'd have to talk to him?
Exactly.
You've got a keen mind. What's your take on this?
Hey, I'm not the detective, young lady. You know what I think? I think Regis did what they ought to have done 20 years ago.
Why do you say that?
Seems logical. We've got him coming into the labs on security, then we got him coming out an hour later. When we get here, we've got Baxter's corpse contaminating the specimen bank.
Anything else?
Well, something strange. Since we got in, we keep finding samples that have been tampered with. Looks like he spent his hour here messing up the genomes of our specimens.
That quickly?
If anyone was good enough to do it that fast, it'd be Charlie.
You knew Regis as well.
Yeah, I was on a research team with him and his wife back in the 60s. Baxter, too.
You've apparently known him a long time. Does this seem like something Regis would do?
Oh, after what he did to Vicky, I'd have strangled Baxter too. I tell you, if he did do it, I wouldn't blame him one bit.
Do you think he did it, though?
I don't know. He was always kinda shady.
Tell me about it.
They made him do some real awful stuff out in the hot zones.
Such as?
Let's just say his escape led to a whole lot of people being jailed for war crimes.
You seem preoccupied.
That obvious, huh? We found a couple of specimens that Regis tampered with in his hour here. So I gotta run through the catalog and dig out the backups.
Sounds straightforward.
Not when there's 11,000 samples to take. Oh, I could punch Regis for this. Though, I want to shake his hand for Baxter so it kinda evens out.
What's been done to the samples?
He's used a customized viral vector to add huge amounts of junk DNA to their genomes. These are the last two I found, Medioflorens interensis and Linacia lawsonis.
May I have a look?
Do you think it'll help?
Just a hunch.
I'm just trying to explain.
Huh. Non-binary. Quaternary data string?
What do you mean?
My wetware systems are interpreting the genomes of these plants as sections of an audio file. He's used the DNA to store information.
You think so?
It's incomplete. The two samples only make up a third of the data, but M and L, my initials? This can't be a coincidence. He's left a message.
What does it say?
Not sure yet. I could probably construct the whole message if I can find where he's hidden the rest of it.
Safe to say it's in the other plants he's engineered. Here, take this. You can sample DNA from the plants around the lab. If you run out of sampling cartridges, you can reload it at this console.
Thanks. How long would it take to sample everything in the lab?
Oh, only a couple of years. We have over 11,000 subjects. You're better off looking for specimens that would fill the gaps in the clue he left.
So, how do I...
You've got to use the sampling tool to get DNA from the sampler can take 3 readings before it needs to be reloaded. In some areas of the lab, the atmospheric controls will prevent the reading being taken.
Apparently he wants me to find certain samples. I've got to think about where I'm going to find them.
Darn right. We've got a whole lot of A right now.
So, you worked with Regis and his wife, as well as Baxter. Did you also work for Dr. Vargas?
That Papa's ass? Yeah, I worked for him.
You don't care for him.
He was a competent researcher, but he lives for politics. Everything was always about making the world a better place.
And you don't think it should be better?
That's a nice idea, just not realistic. And what we ended up making, it was... actually, never mind.
What happens in the specimen bank?
It's where the samples of plants and growth matrices are stored. There's a huge library of subjects to work with, natural and man-made.
And that's where Baxter worked?
Yeah, it's not exactly taxing. I wanted to see what he could do since they put a governor in him.
You left him to work alone in there?
I'll be honest, he was not a pleasant man to talk to.
I wonder why Regis hid a message inside the DNA of these plants.
DNA's been used as a data storage medium before. Rather than on-off binary, DNA would be quaternary bits. Adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. If he just left a message on one of the systems, though, or even on paper...
Then someone could have destroyed or erased it. Short of burning down the entire lab, they'd have no way to be sure they destroyed a message hidden like this.
Especially since he scrambled so many of the other samples as camouflage.
He needs to make sure it's found, and based on the layout, he wants me to find it. Have you found anything else with added genetic data?
As a matter of fact, I have. There was a batch of Orchidaceae isotria in the growth lab, and...
And?
Can't remember exactly which specimen the other was. I do remember that it had blue flowers, spiny toxic leaves, and produced large round fruit.
Why didn't the facility's CI detect Baxter's vitals suddenly failing? It's a potentially hazardous environment in here.
We were wondering that as well. This afternoon we noticed the monitoring system in the sample lab was in recursion. All hell broke loose when the CI suddenly realized what had happened.
So either you've got a technical fault with the software or wetware interfacing.
Which is unlikely given how much they cost.
Or someone breached the security systems to cover Baxter's murder. That gives me more hope. Regis would have no idea how to do that. What sort of research were you conducting in the 60s?
You mean with Charlie and his wife? You might not believe it, but we were the people behind Central.
Central? The city governing AI Central?
The same. Newton was looking for a coordinator AI. Vargas put together a team including the new Mr. and Mrs. Regis.
Nuke me. Regis never mentioned anything about this.
It wasn't a happy memory for him. He left after the unpleasantness. We finished the project a few months later.
Huh. Might explain why he hates Central's guts.
Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get back.
What do you think of this?
Oh my. Is that? Goodness. It seems like such a long time ago. The project was just starting and we were all so buoyant, so keen.
I've never seen Regis looking this happy before.
He was a different man before he lost Vicky. He's always been a good one, though. I still can't quite believe he'd have done this.
Dr. Lau, please continue your investigation of the murder of Dr. Baxter. Your involvement has been requested by the highest levels of civil government. Please find data relevant to the case on your secure system at cell headquarters.
I've taken a DNA sample from it. I've taken a DNA. I've taken a DNA. Looks like Regis didn't hide any data in that one. Looks like Regis didn't hide any data in that one. There's some more. I'm going to need to find where he's hidden the rest of the message before I get any sense out of it. Hi there.
What time do we think we want it to be?
My name's Dr. Max Lau. I'm a cell case specialist.
When will Plumber show them a photograph?
You're not making any sense.
The barber envies your good fortune.
Are you alright?
Whenever the teacher told you the shortest way.
You're not making any sense.
Is the person of the worst living as a survival pull the battle of long-term staybirds in the roots?
Are you alright?
Georgie promised their blow by blow.
Can I get your name?
Those fishermen taught them English.
Okay. What's your role at this facility?
Insignificance could please even the most demanding follower of Freud.
Uh-huh. What happened here?
And so the evil regularly laughed at deadly hair.
I see. I give up.
Is the person of the worst living as a survival pull the battle of long-term staybirds in the roots?
Nope, sorry. I've taken a DNA sample from it. I've taken a DNA sample from it.
With caviar.
Alright, I won't touch them. I can't figure out what any of these tools are for. I didn't realize that gengineering was done with so much tape and wrenches. I've taken a DNA sample from it. Looks like Regis didn't hide any data in that one. Looks like Regis didn't... Looks like Regis...
Warning. Security clearance not valid for access to Growth Lab. Vickerman Pharmaceuticals thanks you for your cooperation.
Better not. It might... Excuse me, Doctor.
Make it quick.
I can't get into the airlock.
The airlock and the growth lab are secure areas. We grow potentially hazardous organisms beyond those doors.
I'm trying to conduct an investigation here. Don't make me get a warrant from Central.
I'm sorry, Central would likely agree with us. We can't just give anyone access to the growth lab.
Not even a cell agent?
I'd need a pretty damn good reason.
I tried talking to your intern. It wasn't helpful.
Oh, never mind that. He's got aphasia.
Isn't that treatable?
Oh, yes. He just gave it to himself. It's what the kids are into these days.
Crippling neurological disorders?
Yes and no. Maladism, they call it. They give themselves old diseases. It only lasts about a week each time.
And you let him do that?
He's not public-facing, and as long as it doesn't get in the way of his work. I figure we all did things the old folks thought were stupid back when we were kids.
I need to ask Neester about the tampered specimens. How do I cure his aphasia?
Well, you wouldn't really cure it. He doesn't actually have the disease. It's essentially wetware designed to occupy the Wernicke and Broca regions of the brain. This then produces the symptoms of the disease. That's what they're going for.
I can't wait a week for the wetware to break down.
Find a way to break it down early then. If we've got an emergency contamination, we use hydroxypyruvate isomerase. It's an enzyme that instructs the fabricators in wetware to disassemble themselves. Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll excuse...
The barber envies your...
All right. Wetware's not going to connect with... I don't need to breach it.
Warning, security clearance not.
Come on.
New security profile created. Access granted. Welcome, Dr. Lau.
Thanks. This could be useful. Looks like a lot of cartridges for the injector.
Camouflage paint likes to take a walk in the park.
Really? How interesting.
Beached questions, you injector?
Say that again?
Overpass, did you stick me with an injector? Now I'll have to get my aphasia rechecked. Not cool, man.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
I'm CS Dr. Lau. I've been tasked with this investigation.
Martin Neester. I've been tasked with the factory lab.
You work with Dr. Chikwa?
I work for Chikwa. I'm just the intern. Means I get stuck with all the lousy jobs she won't do.
I understand. I was an intern once.
So, what's CS? You a detective?
Case specialist. So, yes, I guess you could say that.
Cool.
I'd like to hear from you what happened.
So, we came in this afternoon for the late shift, right? I checked on the factoring line, and it turns out the specimens are nuked up.
In what sense?
They don't match the catalog anymore. Not that they're supposed to be. I figured Baxter nuked it up again, so I checked the feed.
That's when you found the body?
Yeah, but the Chikwa won't let me get a look. Told me to get back to work what she called Sal. Hey, can I get a look at the body with you?
I'm afraid not. Official procedure... stuff.
Bummer.
Why'd you go and give yourself aphasia?
Not just that. There are loads of syndromes. It's maladies, man.
Aren't diseases like that dangerous, though?
It's not permanent, man. We ain't stupid. Wetware nodes in the body create the symptoms of things we want, which you went and broke. Gee, thanks.
Sorry about that. In any case, they're temporary then.
Exactly.
I still don't get it. What's the hook for maladism?
Man, you old folk never get things like MD.
Old?
Most of these syndromes are diseases that are completely curable. They just don't happen anymore. Society says no to them.
So it's countercultural? An act of rebellion?
Exactly. Diseases like that make the establishment uncomfortable. They don't want it to be a part of their society. But we show them they can't ever get rid of it completely.
You're rubbing their faces in it then.
And in another way, it's kinda retro. Illnesses like that are what shape society. The Black Death made Europe what it is.
Gotta appreciate the classics.
For a lot of us, it's also about who's hardest. Posers go for little things like botulism or influenza. But you know someone's got real nodes on them if they can stand a month with HIV.
So, what other diseases have you tried?
Loads of them. Parkinson's, syphilis, tuberculosis. Last month, it was Hansen's disease.
Wait, leprosy?
Yeah, if you're a Zift, Hansen's is the real name.
Sounds like quite a selection.
That's why I came to study in Newton. Eurofed's just starting to get into MD culture, even talking about banning it. Newton's where it's at for it. You guys are a lot cooler about what you let people do.
On an individual basis, certainly. That's pretty much the founding philosophy here. Dr. Chigwa tells me that some of the specimens have been tampered.
Oh yeah, I found one of those. Man, couldn't they have just killed the guy without messing up my work?
I need to find it. Which specimen was it?
Oh, a Corsae Brasileira. When I found it, I just thought Baxter was nuking it up again.
What did you do with it?
I just sent it back to the specimen lab. Should be there in the sample store.
How do young people go about getting sick these days?
It's a lot harder, but that shows it's a choice. We use wetware to create symptoms, like the aphasia. The wetware I had for that was programmed to lodge in the Broca and Wernicke regions of the brain.
So it's not really Broca's aphasia.
Same symptoms though.
You'd buy wetware nodes from shops?
Nah, find hobby GG programmers through the trance. They're always looking to sell. It's like a contest. They're always releasing new syndromes, competing with each other. You looking to get into it?
Not really my scene, thanks. What do you think of Dr. Chigwa?
She's a hard ass, but she knows what she's doing. Kinda thinks she feels wasted working here.
What can you tell me about Dr. Baxter?
Not much. He only started here a couple of weeks ago. Chigwa dropped him in the specimen lab and kinda left him here.
She neglected him?
Nah, he just barely left. Could have been a workaholic, but I think he just couldn't focus on anything else.
Did he ever talk about his past with you?
Man, he didn't even talk to me, period, about anything.
What's your personal opinion of Dr. Baxter?
He didn't talk much. One nuked up guy. Chigwa told me he'd been released from jail. Looked like he had a governor on his head.
That's correct. It affected his behavior?
Dude, that's an understatement. That Malkin was like a zombie. One time, I dropped the whole sample tray in his lab. Anyone else would have yelled at me. He started to get mad, then looked just about ready to puke.
The governor inhibited violent thought. He'd been serving a murder sentence.
No way. Who'd he whack?
That's confidential.
Man, that's unfair. You're at Keys.
Remind me, what was that specimen you...
Jeez, it was a Corsae Brasileira.
All right.
Whatever.
I can't figure... Nope, sorry. Oh God, what a mess. Nothing unusual found on the body, Central. Estimation on time of death?
The climate control in the specimen lab is compromising your sensors. Ambient temperature is just above freezing.
Update, Central.
What is the situation, Dr. Lau?
Dr. Baxter is certainly dead. He's been decapitated, and not cleanly either.
His head has been removed.
More like destroyed. At a glance, this would be the most likely cause of death.
What is your estimation of the incident, Dr. Lau?
There's too much we can't say for sure. We don't know precisely when Baxter was murdered. We can't even be sure that this was the cause of death.
That is a fair assessment. A clearer picture will no doubt follow the autopsy.
Don't send in anyone yet. I still need to carry out a preliminary.
I understand. Continue your investigation of events surrounding the incident.
Understood. Lau out. I hope I can find something to get Regis off the hook. Update sent.
What is...
We can't...
That is...
Don't...
I understand.
Understood. I hope I can find... can't inject that. It's the DNA. I need to take... I've taken a DNA... He looks... Oh. Excuse me.
Yeah?
Remind me.
Jeez, it was a Cordyceps brasileira.
I already found that one.
Oh, well, get off my back then.
Alright, I'll...
Uh-huh.
Oops. They're keeping things in here because they're dangerous. Probably not what I want to be carrying. I've taken a DNA sample from it. I've taken a It worked! Looks like Regis... Looks like Regis...
Pulling into this, and you've been dead for long. Well, case. Good luck.
I'm going to need to find where he's hidden the rest of the message before I get any sense out of it. This one's empty. Apparently this lab is spread out over... I've taken a DNA sample. There's nothing in here. I don't think I can fix it. Not my field.
Warning, copyright breach in progress.
Excuse me?
You are not authorized to remove Orchidaceae isotria samples from the growth lab. They are copyrighted property of Typho Labs GmbH. Beginning purge.
Hey, my sample! What did you do?
To prevent theft of intellectual property, gene sequences in your possession have been neutralized. Have a nice day.
Gee, thanks. Looks like a lot. Nothing happened. They've got these pipes everywhere. I didn't realize that Excuse me.
Yeah?
I need to remove the Orchidaceae isotria sample from the growth room. Thing is, the airlock told me it was copyrighted, then blasted me with gas.
Yeah, that one belongs to T4. They're way touchy about it. Only lab staff were able to remove it for factory.
Could you get the sample for me?
Hey, no way, man. I'm already on 2 strikes for taking stuff out of the lab.
So you could, but you won't.
Sorry, man. Jake already thinks I'm stealing stuff. There's a huge street market for things like sparked fruit or cracked wetware.
Hey, the pipes in the growth lab are leaking.
Ah, you get again? Better go fix it before Chihuahua starts yelling.
According to the labels, these shouldn't be handled without protective gear. I never thought Gengineering would be so... I never thought Gengineering... I guess these pipes aren't broken. They look important. I guess these pipes... Nothing happened. I guess these pipes aren't broken. I never thought I've taken a DNA. You better not lose it. I didn't realize that It's only compatible with the sampler tool. Aha! Got some!
According to this, he's been dead for only 2 on this case. Good luck.
I'm going to need to find where he's hidden the rest of the message before I get any sense out of it. Excuse me, Doc.
Make it quick.
Have you found any...
As a matter of... There was a batch of Orchidaceae
And?
I can't remember exactly which specimen the other was. I do remember that it had blue flowers, spiny toxic leaves, and produced large round fruit. Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll...
I've taken a DNA sample from it. There's some more.
According to this, he's been dead for only 2 on this case. Good luck.
I'm going to... I'd better not. If I start taking... It's only compatible with... I can't inject that. I've taken a DNA. Looks like Excuse me.
Yeah?
All right.
Uh-huh.
won't take a DNA. Maybe it needs a bigger specimen? What is this stuff? Better transfer. It's the DNA. The biohazard trefoil on these isn't encouraging. There's nothing in here to sample. It looks like it's It won't let me take a sample from this one. I guess it needs to have grown a bit first. There, I've planted the growth matrix. Let's hope I got Mom's green fingers. I only just planted it. Taken a DNA sample from it. I hope it doesn't grow in my pocket. Apparently this lab is... Yes!
Lau, if you're listening to this, well, it means they've got me.
Oh no, Regis, no, no, no!
But Lau, ignore anything left in the recording up to this point.
Huh?
Sorry for being so unhelpful with the message, but I had to be sure you were the one who heard it first. Everyone will be saying that I came to the lab for Baxter, and they might be right. Except that he's been dead since before I got here.
Yes!
We need to touch bases on this case. Meet me where we were both first involved in a case. I'll try to explain when you get here. Good luck.
Oh, thank God. You've got some explaining to do, Regis.
What the hell did you think you were doing? We need her alive!
I saw an opportunity for striking back at Regis, a kind of poetic justice.
At Regis? You've never even met the man.
Yes, but
You haven't offloaded Baxter yet, have you? Look, there might just be a use for your newfound vendetta. The tap on his partner was successful. She found where Regis is hiding. He's an unfactored element. Now, he needs to be removed from the equation.
Don't worry. I'll kill him myself if it comes to it.
There's only so much of the city's resources that can be diverted to this. Find him, finish him, then return for offloading. Remember, I'm your controller, not Baxter.
Don't be so sure.
So I got out. I managed to find somewhere to lie low. But I know what Central's capable of. You can only hide from it for so long. Lau had better find that message before an aerostat comes this way. What the hell?